Welcome to another video in my Dutch tool chest series. This time I'm going to be going through how I constructed the front of the chest. So in the previous video we got the basic structure done. Now we need the front of it made. So that's this video. So first off, I need to modify the part that I did in the last video. This will make more sense towards the end when everything comes together, but there's a piece that locks in the fall front, and I need to cut a notch out so that that piece can slide down where the fall front is. And here's the final result of cutting those notches out. Again, this will make more sense a little bit later on when the fall front piece is completed. Here I'm attaching the strip of wood that will hold the bottom edge of the fall front in place. So it's basically the bottom lip of the bottom compartment of the chest. So some hide glue and a couple of wood screws does the job. And here I'm attaching the front of the top compartment, so right on top of the fall front, again with just some wood screws mainly. Here I've got the front of the top compartment already screwed to the carcass, and here I need to match the angle of the side pieces on that front. Otherwise, that's just a 90-degree angle there, and the lid will never sit correctly on that top compartment. So basically I'm just trying to match the angle of the sides in that front piece. And here's the final result of that. I pretty much did it by eye. I drew one guideline, but pretty much just took the plane and took shavings until it all looked right and matched up, and that worked pretty well. And here I'm making the actual fall front that I've been talking about so much. So I have to size it so that it fits exactly between those last two pieces that I attached. So I'm oversizing it just a little bit, and then I plane it down so that it fits just perfectly. Now that the fall front is done, I need the pieces that will hold the fall front in place in the chest. So that's these pieces. They're just strips of wood. They're really simple pine. Here I'm making the piece that will allow the fall front to lock into place. So a small strip of wood will pass through this recess that I'm about to cut here. And here's that piece finished and screwed onto the fall front. And to zoom out a little bit, here is the entire back side of the fall front. So this will be on the inside of the chest. You won't normally see this, but it includes the locking piece and the strips of wood that I cut that will hold the bottom edge of the fall front in place. And the last thing to do is to cut the locking piece for the fall front, which is just a thin piece of scrap wood. And here's the front of the chest completed and a sneak preview of the back. But basically, this is the front with the fall front in place, so that locking strip of wood is slid behind the fall front so that it can't pop out. So basically, you have to have access to that top compartment to pull that locking strip of wood out so that the fall front will open.